What does that mean? What does that mean? And one of them is mica, M-I-C-A.
Mica. Yeah, mica is an interesting word. I feel like it's like allora. Those Italian words that have so many different meanings.
I'm Wendy Holloway, and this is Flavor of Italy, sharing the very best of Italian food and wine, lifestyle, and culture. Good morning. This is Wendy Holloway with Flavor of Italy, and today I'm here talking to Margherita Berti. And she's an Italian who lives in the United States with her American husband, and I believe you have a few kids now too. Is that
I
right?
do. I
Yeah.
have three boys actually.
Wow. Okay. And her 3 boys. And we're talking about her recently published book. Have a look at that, everyone. And I'll include a link to where you can buy it. And it's Italian History and Culture Through Language. So it's not just, oh, this word means this. How do you translate that? It's like the kind of underneath and deeper and cultural context to 200 words or expressions you have in here. Although you could have an infinity, you could have something this thick. That's Margherita, and I'm just going to let you take it over right now, okay?
Yeah.
And just tell your whole thing, because you have your social media following, you're over 3 million. You have a podcast that has really great engagement and downloads. So you're doing really well with this, and it apparently is something that really appeals to international people. So tell us all
Yes.
about it.
Yes. And I can share a little bit about my background. So I
Yes.
was born and raised in Bergamo, Italy, so northern Italy, close to Milan. And then when I turned 23, that's when I moved to the United States to get my master's in language studies, linguistics. And then I got my PhD in applied linguistics at the University of Arizona. And I always wanted to have an online language school. That was my goal. I didn't know if that was going to happen, to be honest, when I was doing my PhD, because I knew it would take so much work to get started with something like that online. And when I finished my PhD, I said, let's try. I had 3 months of savings. I said, let's try, let's see what happens, if I can make it happen in 3 months. And I started with my first online language course for my language school called Italian Matters, and it took off. So it went very well. And that was back in 2022, January 2022. And from then on, yes, I started sharing content on social media. I started my podcast, Italian Grammar Made Easy, where I still share now a weekly lesson every Thursday about Italian grammar, vocabulary. We also have episodes completely in Italian once a month. And then, of course, the school, so the courses and the students, and helping everyone all around the world become fluent in Italian.
So Margherita, it's all online, right? Your courses. Okay.
Yeah.
So how exactly does that work? Because that's a really a key thing of what you do. So do you buy it and then you have it available? Tell us how it works.
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think my courses are different from other courses, meaning that you're not going to be left on your own to learn Italian. Learning the language completely alone can be challenging. We know that. And that is why my courses, they open for enrollment twice a year, and they are cohort based. So we work together for 10 weeks. You have content that you can access at your own pace, but you also get that live support. So we have weekly office hours. You can get feedback on your speaking by submitting a speaking exercise every week. You can participate in a conversation group and meet weekly to practice what you're learning week by week. So there are various ways to really develop all your language skills, and you're not left on your own. And we give you the
So,
support. Yeah,
yeah, Margherita, you say we, so it's not just you.
no. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do all of this by myself. No, it's not just me. My husband works with me as well full time. Yes. And then I have two teachers who help me as well. So I have a person who helps with the community and interacting with students. And I have another Italian teacher who helps me with creating content and developing content for Italian learners.
Okay. And just to ask you, what is the cost for this 10-week course?
Yes, so the course is 397 US dollars, but you get lifetime access. So you're paying that once, you get the support for 10 weeks. Once the 10 weeks end, the support ends, but all the lessons, the materials, quizzes, flashcards, it is lifetime access. We have students who have taken the course in 2022, and I see them still go back to the course today in 2026 to review some lessons and practice some Italian.
So you say flashcards, virtual flashcards.
And printable too.
You started that, then you decide to do the podcast, and your social media has wonderful
Yes.
engagement. So obviously, there are lots of people who want to learn Italian.
Yes, exactly. And I've seen many Italian learners who have this goal of moving to Italy. That is what they want. And so they're preparing for their language test. That is what they're doing for the B1 language test so that they can move to Italy and maybe retire there. It depends on their goal. Some people are looking into working in Italy, or maybe their spouse, their partner is from Italy. But I've seen that being the goal of many people. I want to move to Italy. That is my goal. I need to learn Italian.
Now, have you thought yourself about moving back to Italy with your family?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I have three sisters, so it's four of us and in Italy, and my parents are in Italy. I have thought about it. It is something that honestly me and my husband talk about quite a bit. It would take a lot of planning ahead of time, but maybe we will. We don't know. We talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. Then you came up with the idea of doing this book that we're talking about today. And how did that come about?
Yeah, I actually was contacted by Simon and Schuster. They asked me to write the book. So yeah,
Aha.
that was the first step. But they shared with me the idea. So the idea was really to teach Italian beyond grammar. So it wasn't just about teaching grammar topics or vocabulary. It was about going deeper with the language. And that means understanding, for example, why we say a tavola, to the table when the food is ready. Why is it tavola with an a ending and not tavolo, for example, with that o ending? What is the meaning behind this expression? And really, the goal is to, again, teach Italian beyond the grammar and helping people connect with the language, but also the culture and the way that Italian people speak and do things as well.
So was that Simon and Schuster's idea to do it that way?
Yes, because they have a series of books of various languages who follow this format. So, for example, they published already a book for Irish learners. It is already out with 200 entries, and next Italian, and probably other languages are coming up too. Yes.
Okay, I see. Getting to this one, you have it divided by topic. So some are food, some are greeting. Was that also Simon and Schuster's concept, or did you?
No, for that we actually work on that together. So it wasn't just about a concept. We work on that together. I came up with the 200 entries. So I think the expert since I've been teaching Italian for many years. So I came up with the entries and I put them in various categories. We decided together if they would fit or not. And there was more of a collaboration and me thinking, what can we teach to Italian learners that is going to be interesting, useful, and also used by Italian people.
Exactly. There were a couple that stuck out to me that
Yes.
are often, they'll say to me, what does that mean? What does that mean? And one of them is mica, M-I-C-A.
Mica. Yeah, mica is an interesting word. I feel like it's like allora, those Italian words that have so many different meanings. So you don't just have one straightforward translation into English. You have to think about the context, how that word is used. Thinking about mica, someone might say, non è mica vero. Non è mica vero.
Yeah,
It's
right.
not really true. Non è mica vero. So here, mica could be translated with really. Mica, really. It really depends, again, really depends on the context and how the word is used. And mica is not the only one that follows this pattern. Allora is another one. Prego, permesso. Many Italian words change meaning depending on context.
But mica is a little more, let's say, unusual as a word. It's almost like a filler word that just you use as a filler word. But as you said, and I looked at what the definition is, and it's like an emphasis.
Yes, it is. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah, modifies. Yeah.
it is colloquial as well. So I wouldn't recommend using mica in a formal context. For example, I would use mica in an informal context with family and friends. At work, I wouldn't say mica. It is quite colloquial and formal as an expression.
Yeah. Another one foreigners ask about a lot is, what does magari mean?
Yeah, magari, magari. Magari, it can mean maybe, magari. It can also mean I wish or
Like magari.
for
Oh,
me.
I'd love to have an ice cream right now. Magari.
Magari, I wish. I wish. Yes, exactly. Let's say use of magari very common. And again, it depends on context. Magari, magari uscissimo domani. Magari uscissimo domani. That would mean if only we could go out tomorrow, for example. Again, magari if only. Another translation. So yes,
Yeah,
depends on
yeah, yeah.
context.
Now there's one word, and it is a word, but it's so that you probably wouldn't put it in, and that's beh, B-E-H, like beh, which means I don't know. It's like, how do you feel? Beh. But people say it all the time, all the
Yes.
time.
Yeah, and there are variations. So you have bo, so with an o. There is be with an e. There is ba with an a. And yes, there again, sort of filler words, but people do use them all the time. Yes, in informal situations again.
Yeah. So how would you define beh? It's like, I suppose it's just, I don't know.
Yes, bo. Yeah, it would be I don't know. Bo, bo. And sometimes we just move our shoulders up. Bo, bo. I don't know.
Yeah. Because yeah, I sometimes, if my sister comes to visit and
Yeah.
one or more of my nieces and nephews are here who speak Italian, we say that, and she keeps saying, "What does that mean? What are you saying?" And even then we go, "Bleh, bleh."
It's funny.
Yeah. And then there's some other expressions that aren't necessarily everyday enough to put in a book that you're only able to put 200. And one came up this past week in the context that something that happened in our life. And I actually wrote about it on Substack.
Oh,
It's one of my husband's lifelong best friends died.
um,
He was the head of the fire brigade in Italy, Vigili del Fuoco for all of Lazio, for a
yeah.
region. His compagno di banco,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
that has so much meaning. And it's just culturally something that
Yes.
doesn't really exist in the United States. And for those who are listening, it's you have let's say a bench you sit on with one other person,
Yeah.
and for all years, so teachers come to you, you don't move around to different classes in the same way that you would in the United States. And if you like your compagno di banco, you could be with that person for all 5 years, as my
Yeah.
husband was.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it becomes almost like a brother relationship. But if you say to someone, lui è mio compagno di banco, era mio compagno di banco, it has a really rich meaning that Italians understand immediately what you're
Yes.
saying.
Yes, it's true. It's bringing me back to elementary school in Italy because that was very common. Questa è la mia compagna. So if it's a female, compagna di banco. And it's
Yeah.
common expression. Yeah, Italians would know what you mean when you're saying that. In my experience, for example, with family in Italy, we do a lot of things together. So, for example, even when you are 30, 35, you're still going on vacation with your parents and then your kids and your sisters in August. It's very common to spend time with your family. And I think that reflects in the language as well and how we speak about the family and the words that we use.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. But then there are some other things because Italian is such a rich language. So you have your le dita or your fingers, but for your feet, you call them the fingers of your feet. It doesn't
Yeah.
have its own word like we say toes.
Le
Yeah.
dita dei piedi.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so many interesting intricacies in language that you really learn coming for an extended time
Mhm.
or even living here or speaking in Italian with friends. And maybe in these courses that you do where you say you have some collaborative things where you talk to other students as well.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes. You're interacting with other people. Generally speaking, I believe we learn a language to communicate, not just to speak the language inside our mind. And it's important to get speaking with other Italian learners, native speakers, and understand the language, how it's used beyond a grammar rule.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some of your favorite
Yeah.
expressions and terms that you put in here?
Yeah, let's see. Sogni d'oro is one I love. Sogni d'oro. Literally gold dreams. That would be the translation. Sogni d'oro, gold dreams. But it is an expression that we use, especially when we put our children to bed. Sogni d'oro. And the idea is that I'm telling you, have nice dreams, have good dreams, sleep well.
Yeah,
Sogni
well,
d'oro.
in the States, we would always say sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so
Sweet
it's
dreams.
like that. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, it's very sweet. And then another expression I mentioned earlier, a tavola. I think it's very nice. To the table, a tavola. And let's see, another one, pronto. So when we answer the phone, we say pronto, pronto. It is not just hello, ciao. It is pronto, meaning I'm ready, speak, go ahead, pronto. But
But it's also hurry up, pronto, pronto.
yeah, I'm here, talk. Yes, it is. Pronto. It's fun because it's different, because you don't see the same type of expression in other languages. Usually it is hello.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, you get on the phone, you say, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Another?
And let's see, another would be, yeah, in bocca al lupo. So to say good luck, we don't quite translate that literally. We say in bocca al lupo. The literal meaning of in bocca al lupo is in the mouth of the wolf, in bocca al lupo. But it is an expression that we use to really say good luck.
But then when someone says that to you, you have to
Mhm.
say a certain thing back.
Yeah, crepi il lupo. May the wolf die, crepi il lupo. But also in recent years, it changed a little bit to viva il lupo. So may the wolf live. So to be more
Never
fair
heard that.
towards
I've
the
never
wolf.
heard
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
viva il lupo. Yeah, it's another way of answering that.
Yeah, language is fascinating. When was your book published?
It's coming out on August 11th. That is the day. Just a few days, I would say, a week away, August 11th.
Exactly a week away. Yeah.
A week away, yes, next Tuesday. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
All right. For anyone who loves to travel here, loves language, and just is curious about it, Margherita's book is great. I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm trying to get a cookbook published.
Oh, yes.
And one of the food words is part of the title of my cookbook and inspiration. Thank you so much, Margherita. This has been
Yeah,
great. And in the show notes, I'll include the links to Margherita's social media, her website, and the link to get this book.
great. Thank you so much, Wendy. I really appreciate it. Grazie mille.
Thank you. Thank you. This has been Flavor of Italy. Find us on www.flavorofitaly.com and on Substack, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, always as Flavor of Italy.